The space station hung silently above the blue gas giant, a massive city of metal and lights floating in the cold vacuum. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved around it, docking, departing, or hovering in the orbital lanes. It was a place of trade, diplomacy, and danger, where countless alien species crossed paths. Humans were rare here. Most considered them fragile, unpredictable, too emotional to matter in serious affairs of the galaxy. Among the humans, there was one who did not fit that image. Marcus Hale, a young engineer from Earth, had a quiet confidence that came from years of repairing ships under impossible conditions. Today, he was here to fix an energy core in the station's central hub. It was a task most technicians avoided. The core's power fluctuations could erase a person from existence in seconds. Marcus moved through the corridors with calm determination. His uniform was plain, with Earth's insignia modestly displayed on the chest. He carried his toolkit like a shield, ready for anything the station could throw at him. Unseen by most, a figure observed him from a distance. The alien princess Lyra stood near a balcony overlooking the hub. Her skin glowed faintly with shifting colors bioluminescent patterns that reflected her emotions. Her hair, long and silver, floated gently despite the artificial gravity, giving her an almost ethereal appearance. Lyra was known for her intelligence and careful nature. She had never met a human before, yet something about this one caught her attention. Marcus entered the energy core chamber. The room hummed with raw power. He studied the machinery, noting the damaged conduits and unstable power lines. He set to work immediately, connecting circuits, tightening bolts, and running diagnostics. Sweat beaded on his forehead, but his hands moved with steady precision. Lyra watched silently, intrigued by the human's focus. Unlike most aliens who treated danger with strict caution, he seemed almost fearless. Every move was purposeful, confident, and yet he carried no arrogance. Something about him radiated warmth, something she had never felt in centuries of royal life. Suddenly, an alarm blared. A conduit in the energy core began to spark violently, throwing arcs of blue electricity across the chamber. Marcus leapt to avoid it, but the spark spread toward Lyra, who had stepped closer without realizing the risk. "Princess," Marcus shouted, his voice cutting through the hum of the machinery. Without hesitation, he reached out and grabbed her wrist. The moment his hand touched hers, a strange light flared around them. It was soft, like sunlight on water, yet bright enough to make the sparks seem smaller. Less dangerous. Lyra froze, her eyes wide. She had never felt anything like this. Her body tingled with a warmth that was neither fear nor pain, and the room seemed to quiet around them. Marcus felt it too. His muscles relaxed despite the danger, and an unexpected strength filled him. The touch was simple, yet impossibly it should not have done anything. And yet it had. The spark ceased, as if the energy itself had acknowledged the connection. Marcus let go of her wrist, but the glow lingered faintly around them. Lyra's patterns shifted rapidly, a visible sign of her racing thoughts. I don't understand," she whispered. Her voice was soft but carried authority. "No one survives a touch in the core chamber without being burned." Marcus shrugged, trying to mask his surprise. "I guess we both survived. Maybe it wasn't me. Maybe it was us." Lyra studied him closely. "Us," she repeated. "You feel it too?" Marcus nodded slowly. "Something changed when I touched you. I don't know what it is, but I felt connected. Like I could see the next step before it happened." Lyra's glowing patterns flickered again. It was rare for her species to feel connection outside their own kind. The elders had always warned that physical contact with outsiders could trigger unpredictable effects, sometimes even fatal. Yet here it was, happening with a human. Something ancient, something thought impossible, had awakened. Before they could explore the feeling further, another alarm rang, this one louder, more urgent. Marcus glanced at the central screen. "External boarding alert," he said. "Something is coming toward the station." Lyra's expression hardened. "Raiders. They are fast and aggressive. We have little time to prepare." Marcus followed her gaze. Through the reinforced windows, a fleet of sleek, dark ships moved like predators, aiming straight for the station. "We need to warn the others," he said. Together, they ran through the corridors, moving with a silent understanding. Though their species had never communicated like this before, the energy bonds seemed to let them anticipate each other's steps. They reached the command deck just as the first raider ship fired. Explosions rocked the station, throwing lights and debris across the room. Crew members screamed, scrambling for safety. Marcus and Lyra acted quickly. He directed engineers to stabilize the outer shields, while she activated the station's defense drones. Their actions were precise, almost as if they had rehearsed them for years. The bond they had formed with a single touch allowed them to synchronize perfectly in a moment of chaos. Despite the battle, Lyra could not ignore the strange pull toward the human. Every glance, every movement of his hands seemed to send energy into her body. She had ruled for decades, seen countless allies and enemies, yet no one had ever affected her like this. Marcus, though focused on the defense systems, sensed it too. A calm confidence had filled him, a courage he had never known. The connection was real, and it was powerful. He began to realize that humans often underestimated, often dismissed could have abilities no one else could imagine. The raider fleet continued their attack. But the station held. Shields stabilized, drones fired with deadly precision, and Marcus and Lyra moved as one. Yet the bond between them was more than tactical, it was emotional. It was an invisible tether, something neither had expected, something neither could ignore. When the last raider ship retreated, the station shuddered, damaged but intact. Marcus and Lyra stood amidst the debris, breathing heavily, their eyes meeting. Words seemed unnecessary. The touch had done more than protect them. It had created trust, understanding, and something deeper. Lyra finally spoke, her voice trembling slightly. "This connection. It should not exist. Yet it does. I feel you, as if you are a part of me." Ica smiled, trying to hide his own astonishment. "And I feel you, maybe. Maybe humans and your people were meant to meet like this." Lyra's patterns shifted, a mixture of fear, curiosity, and something else she could not name. "Perhaps, but we must understand it before we act. The bond is strong, but it is new, dangerous yet. It may be the key to more than survival." Marcus nodded. "Whatever it is, we face it together." For the first time, the human and the alien princess stood side by side, not as allies forced by circumstance, but as something new, a partnership born of trust, courage, and an impossible touch. Outside the station, the stars continued to shine, oblivious to the bond that had formed inside. But inside, something miraculous had begun, something that would change not just their lives, but the future of their worlds. The alarms quieted, but the hum of the energy core remained. Marcus glanced at Lyra, and she returned his look. Neither spoke, yet both understood. Their journey was only beginning. The impossible had happened, and the galaxy had no idea what it had just witnessed. And in that moment, a small light shimmered faintly between them, a promise, a warning, and a spark of something that neither species had seen before. The space station hummed with activity as Marcus and Princess Lyra walked through the corridors. Despite the temporary calm, the tension was palpable. Engineers worked quickly to repair damaged systems, and soldiers patrolled the halls with weapons ready. The raider fleet had retreated for now, but Marcus knew it was only a matter of time before they returned. Lyra moved gracefully beside him, her glowing patterns flickering softly. The bond between them still pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat neither could ignore. She kept stealing glances at Marcus, fascinated by the calm determination he carried. He in turn felt an unusual strength and clarity when near her. It was as if the single touch in the energy core had awakened something ancient within both of them. They entered the station's command center. The room was a mess of blinking consoles and scattered reports. Lyra went straight to the main console and began analyzing the raider fleet's attack patterns. Marcus watched her work, impressed by her intelligence and decisiveness. "You're incredible," he said quietly. "I've never seen anyone handle a situation like this." Lyra paused, her bioluminescent skin flickering with emotion. And yet, you survive in ways even my people cannot. Your courage is unusual. Your mind. Adaptable it is. Fascinating. Marcus smiled. I guess humans have a few tricks too. They worked side by side, Marcus repairing damaged circuits and Lyra coordinating defense measures. Without speaking, they moved as if connected by an invisible thread. When one acted, the other seemed to anticipate the move. The bond between them was no longer subtle, it was undeniable. Suddenly, the station shook violently. Another alarm blared. Marcus and Lyra ran to the window and saw it. The raiders had returned, faster, larger, and more aggressive. Their ships glowed with red energy, and they were already firing upon the station. Explosions lit the darkness of space, and alarms rang through the corridors. This is worse than before, Marcus said, his voice steady despite the danger. Lyra nodded. We cannot allow them to destroy the station. We must fight together. Trust me. Marcus glanced at her, the bond between them pulsing like a living thing. He felt his heartbeat align with hers, his instincts sharpened. I trust you. The raiders began boarding the station in small pods, landing in multiple sectors simultaneously. Marcus and Lyra ran toward the central hub, where the energy core still hummed with life. As they moved, Marcus noticed something incredible when he looked at Lyra. He could almost predict her thoughts, her intentions, her movements, and she, in turn, seemed to anticipate his. This bond, it's more than touch, Marcus realized aloud. It's like we can read each other without words. Lyra's pattern shimmered brightly. It is rare. My people have legends of a connection that allows mind and body to move as one. It has never been seen in centuries, and certainly not with humans. As they reached the central hub, the first group of raiders dropped onto the platform. Their armor was dark, jagged, and fast. Soldiers hesitated, but Marcus and Lyra moved forward with confidence. Their bond guided them perfectly. Marcus ducked and rolled, striking the first raider with a powerful punch. Lyra extended her hand, releasing a pulse of energy that knocked two raiders off their feet. They fought seamlessly. Their moves synchronized, almost like a single organism. Other crew members watched in awe as humans usually underestimated, moved with precision and power. Lyra's energy pulses amplified Marcus's strength, while his quick thinking protected her from harm. Your species. You are unpredictable, Lyra whispered, mid-battle, her voice a mixture of awe and disbelief. Marcus grinned. I guess unpredictability is part of being human. Together, they drove back the first wave of raiders. Marcus repaired broken consoles on the move, rerouting power to shields while Lyra directed defense drones to intercept attackers. The station's systems responded to them as if guided by their combined will. When the last raider pod fell, they paused for a moment, breathing heavily. The corridor was littered with damaged equipment, but no lives were lost. Marcus looked at Lyra. We did it. Together. Lyra studied him closely. Together. Yes, the bond. It strengthens with each action we take. I feel your courage, your focus, and it enhances me. Marcus frowned slightly. Enhances you. Her glowing patterns flickered again, almost like a smile. The energy between us? It flows both ways. You are human, yes, but this bond, it makes you extraordinary, and it allows me to access strength I have never had before. Marcus felt a thrill of excitement. So, we are stronger together? Lyra nodded. Stronger, and faster, smarter. The impossible becomes possible when we act as one. Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden alert. The raiders had targeted the station's central navigation core. If they destroyed it, the station could lose orbit and crash into the gas giant. Marcus's jaw tightened. We need to stop them now. Lyra's skin glowed brightly, almost white. Then we act together. Trust me, Marcus. He reached out, touching her hand again. The moment their skin connected, a wave of energy surged through both of them. Marcus felt clarity, courage, and speed unlike anything he had ever experienced. Lyra felt power, focus, and a deep sense of trust. Their bond was no longer just a spark. It was a blazing current connecting their minds and bodies. They ran through the corridors faster than any normal human or alien could. They avoided traps, disabled explosives, and neutralized raiders with precise coordination. Every move flowed naturally, almost instinctively. Marcus realized that the bond allowed them to anticipate dangers, predict attacks, and act with perfect timing. They reached the navigation core. Lyra placed her hands on the console, channeling energy into the systems. Marcus repaired the broken circuits, guided by her subtle movements and energy pulses. Together, they restored the core just as the raiders tried to breach the room. Marcus turned, blocking the doorway, while Lyra released another energy pulse. The raiders were thrown back, unable to enter. Marcus and Lyra stood side by side, glowing faintly with the energy of their connection. For a moment, everything else faded. They were united, unstoppable, and perfectly in sync. When the alarms finally subsided, the station was safe. Crew members rushed to thank them, but Marcus and Lyra hardly noticed. Their attention was on each other, and the bond they could no longer ignore. Lyra spoke softly. This connection, it is not just survival. It is more. I feel your thoughts, your intentions, even your courage. It is incredible. Marcus smiled, feeling a warmth he could not explain. I feel it too. Like we can do anything together. Maybe. Humans have a place here after all. Her patterns flickered with a soft glow of amusement. Perhaps you are more than I imagined. More than any human should be capable of. The impossible is becoming real. Marcus nodded. Then we keep moving forward. Together. Lyra's eyes softened. Yes, together. As the station began repairs, Marcus and Lyra walked through the halls, their hands brushing occasionally. Every touch reignited the energy between them, strengthening the bond. Crew members whispered, watching in awe as the human and the alien princess moved as one. A living example of trust, courage, and extraordinary potential. Marcus knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy had never seen a bond like this, and it was only a matter of time before others would take notice. Humans, usually underestimated, could now stand as equals among the stars, and Lyra. She had discovered a new strength, one that could change her people's future forever. For the first time, Marcus and Lyra realized that what happened in the energy core was not an accident. It was a beginning, a bridge between species, a connection thought impossible, now very real. And as they looked out at the stars, their hearts beating in sync, they both knew the impossible had begun. And together, they would face whatever came next. The space station was quiet now, but the calm felt temporary. Marcus and Princess Lyra stood near the observation deck, looking out at the stars. The raider fleet had retreated, leaving behind only scattered debris and a shaken station crew. Yet the sense of danger had not completely faded. Something had changed, not just in the station, but in them. Their bond pulsed gently, invisible to others, but undeniable to them. Every glance, every slight movement of the hand sent waves of connection through their bodies. Marcus could feel Lyra's thoughts, her fears, her confidence, even before she spoke. Lyra could sense his instincts, his calculations, his courage. It was unlike anything either of them had experienced, connection that transcended words, species, and reason. I do not understand it fully, Lyra said softly, her glowing patterns flickering. This bond. It is not normal. It is forbidden, in some ways, for my people. Yet, I feel strength. I feel hope. Marcus reached out and gently touched her hand. The moment their skin met, a surge of warmth and light flowed between them. It was not just physical, it was mental, emotional, and something else neither could name. Marcus felt his mind expand, clarity and courage filling him. Lyra felt power she had never known, a strength that connected her to him and to the universe itself. Lyra, Marcus said quietly, I think this is what we were meant to find. Not just to survive, but to change things. Together, we can do things no one imagined. Lyra's glowing patterns shimmered brighter. Yes, together, but we must understand it. This connection, it is ancient. Something my ancestors spoke of but never witnessed. Humans. Perhaps you are the key we never expected, Marcus nodded. Then we learn it together. Their discussion was interrupted by a sudden alert on the station's central console. A message was incoming from the Galactic Counselor governing body of multiple species. Usually slow, cautious, and bureaucratic. The screen displayed the Council's symbol, and the voice that followed carried authority. "Attention, station inhabitants," the voice said. "We have observed unusual energy readings. A human and the royal representative of the Lyrian species have interacted in ways previously thought impossible. Report immediately." Marcus looked at Lyra, surprised. "They know." Lyra's patterns flickered nervously. "Yes, and they will want to understand what happened. But we are not alone in this. This bond, it can change everything." Marcus's heart pounded. Humans were considered weak by most species. But now, the Council had seen something extraordinary, something impossible. He squeezed Lyra's hand. "Then we show them. Together." Lyra nodded. Together. Over the next few hours, they demonstrated their connection. Marcus could anticipate Lyra's commands, repairing systems and guiding the station's defenses in perfect sync. Lyra could channel energy to enhance Marcus's strength and speed. Together, they completed repairs and stabilized the station far faster than any team of experts could. Other species watched in awe. Humans, they realized, were not weak. They were unpredictable, creative, and capable of adapting in ways no one had considered. And when paired with Lyra, Marcus's abilities became extraordinary. A council envoy arrived shortly after. Elder Neareth, a tall, elegant alien with eyes like polished amber, approached cautiously. "Princess Lyra, human Marcus hail," Neareth said. "Your bond. It is unprecedented. We have studied human potential for centuries, but this is remarkable. Tell us how it happened." Lyra glanced at Marcus. It was a touch, a simple touch in the energy core. And yet, something ancient awakened. "I do not fully understand it, but I can feel the possibilities. Marcus and I, we are stronger together," Marcus added. "I felt it too. The touch connected us mentally, physically, even emotionally. It's more than survival. It's a bridge between our species. Something impossible until now." Elder Neareth studied them carefully. This could change the future. Humans have long been underestimated. But this bond, it could mean unity, strength, and understanding beyond what we imagined. Lyra's glowing patterns pulsed with agreement. Yes, humans are different. And together, we can protect not just this station, but perhaps the galaxy itself. The Council deliberated for hours, sending messages to member worlds. News of Marcus and Lyra's bond spread quickly, causing surprise and disbelief. Aliens who had once dismissed humans as weak now whispered in awe. They could see the impossible, a human and an alien princess connected, acting as one, shaping events with courage, skill, and a bond no one else could replicate. Meanwhile, Marcus and Lyra continued to train together. They explored the depths of their connection, learning to anticipate each other's thoughts and actions perfectly. Marcus discovered that the bond enhanced his focus and speed, while Lyra found her energy manipulation amplified beyond known limits. They could work together to repair starships, control station systems, and even defend against fleets of enemies with uncanny precision one evening. After another long day of demonstrations and repairs, Marcus and Lyra stood alone on the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly before them, silent witnesses to their growing bond. "I never thought humans could matter this much," Lyra said softly, her glow gentle now. "And yet here you are, changing everything I believed about life, about strength, about trust." Marcus smiled, feeling the warmth of her words and the energy between them. "And I never thought I could feel this. This connection with someone like you, But now, I can't imagine it any other way. Lyra's hand reached for his, and as they touched, the energy surged again, soft, warm, and radiant. It was no longer surprising. It was natural. The impossible had become reality. "You see, Marcus," Lyra whispered, "this bond, it is more than us. It is hope for my people. For humans, for the galaxy. We can do more than survive. We can unite, inspire, lead." Marcus nodded. "Then we will. Together." The council returned one last time, this time with a formal recognition. Marcus and Lyra were honored not just for saving the station, but for demonstrating something thought impossible: the potential of humans to connect, inspire, and transform. The message was clear. Humans were not weak, unpredictable beings to be underestimated. They were capable of greatness, especially when courage, trust, and determination guided them. Across the galaxy, whispers began. Stories spread of the human and the alien princess, touching hands and achieving what no one thought possible. Young humans on distant planets found inspiration in Marcus's courage. Lyrian youth saw a future where alliances could transcend old rules. And leaders of other species began to reconsider humans, realizing that strength is not only measured by weapons or ships, but by heart, creativity, and the courage to act when it matters most. As Marcus and Lyra stood together on the observation deck, looking at the distant stars, they knew their journey had only begun. The bond that started with a single, impossible touch had changed them both. It had shown the galaxy a new way forward, a path of trust, courage, and unity. Marcus turned to Lyra, a small smile on his face. "Do you think? The impossible will always be possible with this bond." Lyra's glowing patterns shimmered like a smile of their own.
"I do."
"And I believe that together, we can show the galaxy just how extraordinary humans can be. We are no longer just observers. We are participants. And we are unstoppable." The stars stretched endlessly before them, each one a reminder of worlds to explore, challenges to face, and adventures yet to come. Together, they had become more than human and alien princess. They had become a symbol, a bridge between species, a spark of hope, and a living proof that the impossible could happen. And so, hand in hand, Marcus and Lyra stepped forward into the future, ready to face whatever the galaxy would throw at them. They were no longer ordinary. They were extraordinary. They were unstoppable. The galaxy had witnessed something impossible, and now it would never be the same again.